forward. Having said that, Senior Counsel Paul Mwite, if you're ready, you may now usher in your witness.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, we are anxiously waiting for the Deputy President. My colleagues can stand here, can stand in. For me, let me make inquiries and find out where he's held up. We certainly wish to call him as a witness.
Very well. Yes, what is the point of procedure, Senator Boni?
Unprecedented, to the extent that when we stand down business in this House, it normally arises from a communication from the chair that you're temporarily, for a specific time, suspending the proceedings. You have not done this, and we are seated in the chamber. The mess is in place. I do not know whether we want this to be the new standard, Mr. Speaker. Could you guide us? We have no idea how long we're going to wait. And time is running, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Senators, at the rise of the House at 1:15, I made it clear that upon resumption, the Deputy President was going to take the stand. We came in here, I communicated the program for the afternoon, and I said we're going to execute it with military precision, owing to the fact that we need to conclude business today. Senior Counsel Paul Mwite indicated that he cannot get hold of his client. That is not the concern of this House. So time is running. Order, order, honorable senators, order. The floor is available to the Deputy President and no other senator or no other enemy.
Well, the Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Amason Kingi, currently presiding over the business of the Senate this afternoon, has just directed that the floor at this particular juncture is not available to any other senator owing to the...
Enoch, I used very basic English. I know you. You have such a wonderful grasp of the language. You need not to get any clarification.
It is exactly 15:04 p.m. this afternoon, being the 17th day of October 2024. The afternoon sitting of the Senate this afternoon was to kick off with the Deputy President taking the stand, bearing in mind the DP, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, is the sole witness in the case where the National Assembly, through the move of the motion, Honorable Mwengi Mutuse has leveled 11 grounds for impeachment of the Deputy President from office. We have already dispensed with the prosecution side, and during this afternoon sitting, immediately after the commencement of business, the council representing the National Assembly have confirmed to the House that they do not intend to call more witness in regards to this case. The counsel for the Deputy President had requested the House through the Speaker that any evidence where the witnesses are not appearing be expunged from the record. It is a moment of waiting at the Senate this afternoon as the House awaits the arrival of the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, who is set to take the stand at the Senate this afternoon and prosecute his case through himself as well as his defense, and convince senators why the 11 grounds listed for impeachment should be quashed by the House. Our dear viewers, the motion for the removal by impeachment of His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua EGH, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, has 11 grounds where the National Assembly is seeking to have the Senate uphold the charges, or at least one of them, to have the Deputy President cease to hold office today. The mover of this motion, Honorable Mwengi Mutuse, who also serves as Kibwezi West lawmaker, has told senators for the better part of yesterday and today that his desire through this motion is that the House finds the Deputy President to have committed the offenses listed in this motion. And this afternoon, the defense of the Deputy President, led by Senior Counsel Lawyer Paul Muite, will be seeking to water down those charges by the evidence that they will be presenting before the Senate this afternoon. And to just take you through probably some of the charges that the Deputy President will be seeking to counter this afternoon is charge number 1 on the gross violation of the Constitution and any other law. This is pursuant to Articles 150, subsection 1BI of the Constitution. Charge number 2 in the impeachment motion by Honorable Member for Kibwezi West. The Honorable Member alleges in his motion that there is gross violation of Articles 147 subsection 1 and 152 subsection 1 of the Constitution, where the Deputy President is being accused of undermining the presidency. Under Article 147 subsection 1 of the Constitution, the Deputy President is the principal assistant of the President and shall deputize the President in the execution of President's function. In this motion, the Honorable Deputy President is accused of going in contravention with cabinet resolutions on matters evacuation of people residing along Nairobi River, and that shortly after His Excellency, shortly after being in contravention with the cabinet resolution, the Deputy President made public a statement opposing the Nairobi River riparian execution orders. According to the mover of the motion, this is undermining the resolutions by the cabinet. Under charge number 3, again on gross violation of Article 6, subsection 2, Articles 10, subsection 2A, Article 174, and Article 188, and the 4th schedule of the Constitution, where the Deputy President is accused of undermining devolution. The mover of the motion in his motion states that on the 20th of September 2024, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, recklessly and mindful of the high calling and dignified status of the office of the Deputy President, unlawfully interfered with the running of the Nairobi County government by holding a public rally in which he incited citizens against lawful directives by the Nairobi City County government on the planning and relocation of markets. This is just some of the grounds listed or some of the annexes under charge number 3, where the Deputy President is set to defend himself on these charges, among others.
Senior Counsel Paul Mwita, your time started running.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, may I?
Let me just conclude, Senior. Your time started running at the time I requested you to usher in your witness. You indicated that you're getting hold of your witness. We'll give you all the time you need to get hold of your witness, but to let you know that the clock is running, and it's running on your client. You can take all the time, but his time is running out. After 2 hours, he's not appeared, the chair will make a ruling pursuant to the rules of procedure.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, may I start first and foremost by expressing apologies and regrets that the Deputy President is not here, and by not being here, the inconvenience and delay caused to Mheshimiwa Speaker and to honorable senators. The position, Mheshimiwa Speaker, is that during that period that I went to try to find out why he wasn't here, because as Mheshimiwa Speaker knows, the Deputy President has been coming here absolutely punctually every day. The sad reality is that the Deputy President, the Republic of Kenya, has been taken sick, very sick, and as I address Mr. Speaker in this honorable House, senators, he is in hospital, Mheshimiwa Speaker. That is a sad reality.
Order, honorable senators. Order, honorable senators. Senator Kajuang. Now, Counsel for the National Assembly, you have had Senior Counsel Paul Mwita for and on behalf of the Deputy President. Considering that this is a time-bound process, what is your reaction?
Mr. Speaker, sir, this is a House governed by the rule of law. We truly empathize with the difficulty that His Excellency, the Deputy President, has found himself in. But, Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Rule 11 of rules governing this process, if I may, with your permission,
maybe Counsel for the National Assembly.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Just take a seat before you make your rejoinder. Senior Counsel Paul Mwite, having said whatever you've said, what is your proposed way forward so that a reaction can be put from the National Assembly? Are you telling us we wait until your client gets here? What is your proposed way forward?
Mheshimiwa Speaker, I have just received this information. My proposal is that you give me at least the rest of the day. I would like to go and have an assessment of his situation and maybe even come back here by 5 p.m. Right now, I would like to make an informed sort of situation after I see the Deputy President and I see the doctor, Mheshimiwa Speaker, at least an hour or two. Yes, thank you.
Very well. Counsel for the National Assembly.
Mr. Speaker, sir, having very keenly listened to my learned senior colleague, Paul Mwite, Senior Counsel, it puts us in a bit of a difficulty because whereas we may want to empathize with the situation, there appears to be no indication from their end as to a specific proposal. Mr. Speaker, sir, this being a House governed by rules, and this process being a time-bound process, I will draw your attention to Rule 11 of the rules of this, this House. If I may read, Mr. Speaker, sir, that where the National Assembly or the President chooses not to appear before the Senate, that fact shall be put on record and the Senate shall proceed with its investigation without further reference to the National Assembly or the President. But the Senate may, for exceptional reasons to be recorded, permit a later appearance before the Senate by the National Assembly or the President. Mr. Speaker, sir, I think this rule would give us guidance we may proceed. If it becomes necessary, then any additional material may then be availed. This is a time-bound constitutional process, Mr. Speaker, sir. I'm most obliged.
Let me pick the wisdom of my wonderful senators before I make my decision on the way forward. Now, I understand that all of you are wise men and women.
Speaker, can I just say a word?
Yes.
I've heard what Senior Counsel Paul Mwite has said. And, Mr. Speaker, you have made it quite clear that these proceedings are time-bound. It's not so much about the situation in which His Excellency the Vice President finds himself. It's about the Senate complying with the provisions of the Constitution. That within that time frame, you must make a decision. Reading the standing orders that my learned friend, Mr. Rick Gumbo, has referred to, it would be useful to this House if Senior Counsel Paul Mwite could probably give us a way forward in terms of the time limitation that the Senate has. I'm saying this because we don't want somebody to say that the Deputy President was not given an opportunity to be heard. I think the Senate will want him to be heard. But knowing the time limitation, what suggestions does the Senior Counsel have to ensure that we keep within the time parameters? At the same time, the Deputy President is given his space to defend himself.
So we have two sides. We have the minority side and the majority side. I will only allow the two leaders to speak. If you need to consult in the next 1 minute, now, honorable senators, our standing orders have not been suspended yet. It is only Senator Mazayo and the majority leader. The rest, take your seat. The rest, please take your seat. Order, honorable senators. Please take your seat. Now, honorable senators, we are facing a very unprecedented situation. At the rise of this House at 1:15, I indicated that upon resumption, we were going to hear the Deputy President. Upon resumption, Senior Counsel Paul Mwite, for and on behalf of the Deputy President, when I asked him to usher in the Deputy President for purposes of presenting him to give his evidence in chief, the Senior Counsel indicated that even him, he was unaware of the whereabouts of his client, and he asked for a few minutes to go fetch him, wherever he was. After a few minutes, Senior Counsel Paul Mwite came back to the chamber and indicated that he had gotten information which he was yet to verify, that his client had fallen sick, and indicated that he needed time to go look for him in whichever hospital he is, and that he should be given up to 5 p.m. today. The Counsel for the National Assembly, in response, indicated that this is a time-bound process. He referred to the Senate to Rule 11 of our Rules of Procedure, that where the Deputy President fails to appear, the Senate can actually proceed, or for exceptional reasons to be recorded, permit a later appearance before the Senate of the Deputy President. Having considered the two sides, my directions are as follows: that we will suspend this sitting and resume at exactly 5. So the Deputy President, we expect the Deputy President then to take the witness stand at 5. This is a time-bound process, unfortunately. It is so ordered.
The Speaker of the Senate has directed that the sitting be adjourned for about a couple of hours to allow the counsel for the Deputy President to get hold of him. As it is, our dear viewers, at this particular juncture, the lead counsel for the Deputy President has just told the House that they could not get hold of their client, requesting for more time to get in touch with the client. Senior Counsel Lawyer Paul Mwite has told the House the information he has is that the Deputy President has been taken ill. And so for this juncture, we will be taking you back to the broadcasting house, KBC, We will be resuming these normal proceedings again at 5 p.m. My name is Gladys Mungai, and on behalf of the broadcasting team that made this possible, we will be back with this live broadcast at 5 p.m. this evening.
La Msambweni ambalo mimi naliwakilisha hapa, ikipitia eneo bunge la Matuga, eneo bunge Mheshimiwa Tandaza nalo liunganisha hapa, ikifika eneo bunge la Lungalunga. Hii barabara Mheshimiwa Speaker, ni kama imesahauliwa na hili shirika letu la Kenha. Barabara hii kama tunavyojua, miundo mbinu ndio uti wa mgongo wa maendeleo yoyote. Na katika sehemu hizi ndio sehemu ambazo katika Kwale County tumezizingatia sana pakubwa katika swala zima la ukulima. Huku watu wanafanya ukulima kama sehemu ya Shimba Hills. Hiyo ndio sehemu ambayo ukuzaji wa machungwa yanakuzwa kwa hali ya wingi sana. Nikisema machungwa yale tunayotumia katika mkoa wa Pwani, 70% yanatoka katika mji wa Shimba Hills na barabara yake haipitiki. Kwa hiyo hata mimi ningemuomba mwenyekiti wa ile komiti ya transport atueleze, aje hapa atueleze wizara iko na mikakati gani ya kuhakikisha hii barabara inakarabatiwa kwa haraka upesi. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Zaire.
Honorable Chair, Honorable Speaker, I acknowledge the response and the statement from the members, but the chairman will give a comprehensive response in the next 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, so that. Yes, Gichumu.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, on the second day of October 2024, I requested a statement from the Chairman, Committee of Agriculture, regarding the payment of tea bonus for Kemunye and Lumaita tea factories, which are situated within Gachagua constituency. And there was a commitment through the Vice Chair that this statement will be coming, will be responded to within 2 weeks, which lapsed yesterday. Honorable Speaker, this matter is of utmost urgency because the tea farmers from the two factories are have still boycotted plucking, and it is important that the matter be handled with a little bit of urgency so that I can be able to give feedback to the farmers that I represent in Gachagua.
Thank you. Mutunga, you are supposed to respond to that. In the last 2 weeks, I'm told.
Honorable Speaker, the issue of tea has been countrywide, not in one area.
Do you have the response?
I do not have the response, but we are getting the response in a week's time, because we are also going out this week to even establish by ourselves what exactly caused the variance in pricing.
Okay.
Of the bonus. Yes.
Thank you. Starting with Chair Rhodes, I'm told, Zaire, you have the responses. Start by responding to the statement of Monica Marubu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on Thursday, 19th June 2024, the member for Lamu County, Honorable Monica Marubu, Member of Parliament, requested for a statement from the Chairman of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure regarding the status of compensation for fishermen in Lamu County. Honorable Speaker, in the statement, the Honorable Monica Marubu sought to establish, among other things, details of the fishermen set to receive compensation, including their areas of residence, fishing grounds, and state criteria used for the verification process. Honorable Speaker, measures in place to ensure that only fishermen from the affected fishing grounds and local fisher community receive compensation and provide timelines for completion of the compensation process. And why the government is yet to implement a fishing value chain approach to boost the fishing industry of the area, considering that the compensation provided to fishermen does not provide a long-term solution, hence jeopardizing the sustainable source of livelihood of the community. Honorable Speaker, the committee received a response from the Ministry of Roads and Transport through the Clerk of the National Assembly on the 20th of September 2024, which I wish to make. Honorable Speaker, regarding the details of the fishermen to receive the compensation, including the areas of residence, fishing grounds, and state criteria used for the verification process. The ministry acknowledged that the fishermen residing in Lamu County are set to receive cash compensation. It also noted that the affected victims were identified through beach management units with the cooperation of the local BMUs, chairs, and the county government. Honorable Speaker, in March 2023, KPA, Kenya Ports Authority, began verifying and processing agreements for compensation, initially approving 4,026 fishermen. However, a directive from the EACC halted payments for further verification. Honorable Speaker, after completing their investigation, the EACC validated 4,167 fishermen, while an additional 567 names were requested for verification. As per the court order from December 1st, 2022, KPA has commenced compensation payments of Kenya shilling 241,714 to each of the 4,026 approved fishermen and boat owners, totaling to 973,141,852. Honorable Speaker, payments were to be completed by June 2nd, 2024. Up to date, KPA successfully processed payments to 3,887 fishermen, while 139 payments bounced due to incorrect bank details. Honorable Speaker, with regards to the measures in place to ensure that the fishermen from the affected fishing grounds and local fisher community receive compensation and provide timelines for completion of the compensation process, the ministry submitted that KPA, guided by the EACC, will adhere to a set criteria. The compensation is expected to be completed by mid of December 2024, contingent on the chairs of beach management units, famously known as the BMUs, providing the identities of the 567 disputed names. Honorable Speaker, the list of the eligible fishermen and boat owners were compiled by officials of the BMU and representatives from the county government of Lamu based on the following criteria. 1, they must have been fishermen or boat owner by October 16, 2016. They must have been registered with the county government of Lamu as either fishermen or boat owner or by the same date. Honorable Speaker, regarding the reasons government is yet to implement fishing value chain approach to boost the fishing industry of the area, considering the compensation provided to fishermen does not provide a long-term solution, hence jeopardizing the sustainable source of livelihood of the community. The cash compensation is 65% of the Lamu fishermen compensation amount. Honorable Speaker, the other 35% of the fund consists of 640 million set aside by the government for development of physical infrastructure and support services toward the fishing industry in the area. KPA is set to engage the Lamu stakeholders on the nature of equipment they will wish KPA to procure as part of the sustainability development. A task force, Honorable Speaker, that was formed in 2019 to follow up on the compensation and its modalities. Honorable Speaker, it is prudent to note, however, that due to passage of time and changing fishing dynamics in Lamu County, Honorable Speaker, there is need to have this report proposal validated in terms of the identity of the equipment and the equivalent specifications before the validation exercise. Honorable Speaker, the task force will be required to conduct consultative and stakeholder participation engagement activities in Lamu County. This is a process to be undertaken by the members of the task force before KPA and can move towards a procurement stage. Honorable Speaker, as I wind up, KPA has committed to facilitating the conclusion of the compensation process by engaging all the stakeholders involved. Honorable Speaker, the committee also assures the honorable member that it will follow up on this matter and has planned to engage the ministry on the same early in November. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Okay, the originator of the question, do you want to make a comment?
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the honorable member and a member of the said committee have indicated that the identification and indeed the compilation of the list of the beneficiaries were done in collaboration with everyone else except the members of Parliament of the National Assembly. KPA is the Ministry of Transport and KPA are functions of the national government. How come that the names and the process was done with everyone else except the members of the National Assembly, myself and the other members included? Number two, Madam Speaker, I have not seen the list of the 3,800 and something fisher persons that the honorable member has indicated have been compensated. I hope the list is available because we have had a situation in Lamu where everyone else is compensated except the people of Lamu. We had a situation where people were compensated for land in Kililana for the Lamu port, and these people, like 3/4 of the people that were compensated were people from out of Lamu. So in this situation, Madam Speaker, I can always I can almost commit that the list of the said members of the fishing community are not people of Lamu. But then we will see the list and then we will interrogate and submit it to the people, because we've had a situation where people are taking the money for the people of Lamu. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Okay.
Honorable Speaker, I acknowledge the additional concerns raised by the Honorable Member. As a committee, through the Chair, we will follow up by engaging the Ministry further and inviting the Cabinet Secretary to a further meeting together with the Honorable Member, so that she can come and have a meeting with the Ministry and members of the committee.
Fair enough, thank you. Next, is there a response for the question by Honorable Ruku? He's not around. Okay, so let's proceed to the other statements. You have the statement, okay, proceed. But the member is not here. I think just table the report, since the member is not here. Thank you. Let's go to the responses to previous questions. The response by the Communication, Information and Innovation Committee Chair to respond to Honorable Clive Kiziaro.
Back here.
Are you doing it on behalf of the committee?
Yeah, I'm the Vice Chair of the committee. Let me respond.
Proceed.
Thank you, Speaker. The Honorable Clive Gisairo, Member for Parliament of Kitutu Masaba, of the 13th Parliament of the 3rd session of the National Assembly, raised the question below. His question number 1 was, what's the status of implementation of the Kenya Digital Economy Acceleration Project since disbursement of funds by World Bank? And here is the response. Honorable Speaker, the KDEAP project was declared effective 2nd February 2024 following a legal opinion by the Attorney General. The government had its time met the 6 conditions of effectiveness of the project. The ministry obtained a budget allocation of 400 million Kenyan shillings in the supplementary budget to fiscal year 2023-2024 in the month of June 2024. The money was received in the designated account at the National Treasury on 27th June 2024. However, the disbursement of the project bank account under ICT Authority is yet to be completed. The current fiscal year 2024-2025 has a budget allocation of 2.8 billion granted, and the 18-month work plan has been approved by the World Bank. And the second question for Honorable Xairo was, what regions benefited from implementation of the project so far? And here is the response. Honorable Speaker, the project implementation is starting this current financial year, and the terms of reference are under review in preparation for the rollout. Upon implementation, the project will benefit the whole country. Here, the third question. What are the expected gains for the project, for this project? The response, Honorable Speaker, the beneficiary of the project include citizens, the private sector, public sector agencies, students, and civil servants. Individuals across the nation will benefit from wider opportunities to participate in the digital economy through the widened access of broadband internet, public Wi-Fi hotspots, and the community access schemes, as well as digital access of public services, as well as enhanced data protection. The program places a strong emphasis on digital inclusivity and bridging the divide, i.e. the BWDs, that's people with disabilities, vulnerable communities, and underserved areas. On the same note, we have the second response for Honorable Doris Donya Toto, the women rep for Kisii. He had asked the question 1, measures that are in place to ensure the ISPs such as Safaricom.
What's your point of order?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. He has responded to my statement. I think I was to be allowed to comment before he goes to the next statement he wants to respond to, which is not mine.
Okay, I think we can allow that. So let's wait for the next statement. Proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I sought for a statement around 6 months ago. The statement was in regard to a disbursement by World Bank of $390 million, which is equivalent to 48 billion Kenya shillings. Madam Speaker, the response we've had here is not worth 100,000 Kenya shillings. This is basic and simply disrespectful to this House. Honorable Speaker, this is the reason why the chair has always avoided bringing this statement to this House, despite my many follow-ups. He had even confided in me that he cannot stand in this House to read this statement. Because what is written here, I doubt even the permanent secretary went through it before appending his signature. This is a statement written by an intern in that office. When we are talking about 48 billion, and the response talking about 400 million, which again, it goes ahead to say, has not gotten into their account. A project which was funded in 2023 March to date. Honorable Speaker, I'm totally dissatisfied with this response and would like that the committee helps me get a proper response, even if it means me joining them in the committee to get to the depth of this matter. We cannot have such responses after 6 months. You get 3 leaves of paper explaining nothing, telling us that the beneficiaries will be the citizens and the whole country. Honorable Speaker, I'm totally disappointed and I hope to get a proper response on the statement that I sought from the committee chair of ICT. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Nabi.
Madam Speaker, the Kenya Digital Economy Acceleration Project is a World Bank project that is supposed to help not just anyone, but the young people of this country, the disadvantaged people of this country. Madam Speaker, it disappoints me that we are talking about 48 billion shillings. This is money the World Bank has brought to this economy that is supposed to accelerate the economy. And we cannot finger out any single project.
Member for Kitutu Masaba can attend and get maybe final answers. I think that's a better way of dealing with it. Is that acceptable?
That's accepted, Madam Speaker, but if they can give us timelines. It has taken 6 months to bring this. If we don't have timelines, we may end the 13th Parliament without a response.
Yes, I think it can be within 2 weeks of after recess. I think 6 months is really out of order. Okay, thank you. Let's go to, you can move to the next statement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We'll do as guided by your office and we'll invite a member. Together with the minister, we'll discuss it further. Now let's go to the second question, which was asked by Honorable Doris Donya, MP. Her first question was measures that are in place to ensure that ISPs such as Safaricom, Telecom, Airtel compensate their customers adequately during prolonged internet outages. Response number 1, internet service providers fall under the application service provider license category implemented by the Communication Authority. The authority has licensed over 500 applications service providers, and they are required to provide quality services devoid of service interruptions. The licensed entities are required to put in place measures that will ensure continued uptime of their services, to ensure high availability, reliability of internet services, as well as customer complaint handling mechanism. Whereas the current regulatory framework does not prescribe specific compensation in case of service outrage, the service providers provide for different levels of compensation to their customers. These include wireless data bundles when affected by Viber at home, internet services downtime, data bundle period extension for period of unavailability, no charge for postpaid customers for period of unavailability, apologies, communicate through various communication channels. That was our first question. He had another question. Question number 2, clarify on the implementation of broadband compensation and repeats by internet services providers for their customers in the event of service disruptions. The response, the interruption during planned activities or system upgrade, that's maintenance, licenses are required to notify the CA and their customers 7 days before such a downtime. These activities are also expected to be carried out during lowest period of tariff volumes. For unforeseen outrages, licensees are expected to inform the CA of the occurrence within 24 hours and outline the measures they have undertaken to ensure minimum disruptions of service to customers. CA also handles customers' complaint on the case-by-case basis. He had another question, number 3, where she was requesting outline the steps taken by the Minister of Information, Communication and the Digital Economy to enhance accountability in ISPs and protect the rights of customers, especially in the right of increasing dependence on internet services. And this is the response for the last question, a part of it. CA through establishment framework for assessment of quality of services, that's QoS, of telecommunication service systems that covers end-to-end QoS services, parameters for voice, SMS, and data. Currently, Safaricom, Airtel, and Telecom are assessed on an annual basis. The mobile network operators that fall to meet the minimum standard of 80% QoS performance is issued with a notice of violation. Failure to address may lead to penalties up to 0.4% of the mobile network annual turnover. The framework is currently under review in order to enhance accountability of the ISPs. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Donya Doris, do you want to comment?
Thank you, Madam Speaker.